Okay, this is going to be a little awkward because I'm holding the camera and doing the actions, but this is a beautiful plant I found here in Sequoia National Forest, and I want to key it out with my slightly old book, A Sierra Nevada Flora by Norman F. Wheaton, PhD. So, for those of you guys who have never used keys before, we're going to go to the beginning of the book. If only I had all of this tabbed already. The beginning of the book, there's something like this. You're going to start with A, plants not flowering. These plants are obviously flowering, so we're going to go to AA. AA, plants producing flowers. Then we're going to go to the B's. Flower parts mainly in 4s or 5s. I don't know if this will work. Let's see. Can we get just one little flower in frame? If you can just barely tell. These flowers are in parts of 5s. That's how we're going to know that this plant is a dicotyledon. So we're going to use the family key on page 19. You could also use the generic key on page 23, but we've been using the key on page 19 this whole time, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go back up to the top to A. Plants usually aquatic. That's a no from us, so we're going to go down to AA. Plants terrestrial. Now, are the plants woody throughout? Not just the base. I would put that at a hard yes, although that bark is a little weird. So that's going to be a woody throughout, so B is accurate. C, are the leaves opposite? Let's see if I can get a good look at these leaves down here. So opposite leaves would be along the stem. You would have 2 leaves coming side by side. If my hand was a stem and my fingers were leaves. I'm honestly not 100%. I'm not very good at this yet. Not sure what this leaf pattern is, but I know it's not opposite. I would say it's alternate. So alternate means we have a leaf on this side, a leaf on this side, a leaf on this side, and a leaf on this side. So let's see. Leaves are not alternates. Let's go down to CC. Or sorry, leaves are not, what was C? Opposite. They're alternate. Leaves are alternate, whorled, bunched, or basal. This is accurate, CC. So we're going to go to D. Male and female flowers in separate structures, at least male flowers in catkins. This has no catkins. That's a no for D. So we're going to turn the page. Find DD. Flowers not in catkins. Leaves compound or lobed is what that stands for. So let's see if I can get close enough to these leaves here again. Compound or lobed leaves, these are called simple leaves because it's just the one singular leaf shape. There's no like extra little like do, kind of like a maple leaf would be. So not compound or lobed. Let's go down to EE. Leaves entire to serrate, never lobed. All right, so after keying it out, we got to the buckthorn family, which it does describe shrubs or small trees, which this is. Leaves simple with small deciduous stipules. There's actually a lot of different buckthorn family plants. I would have to go through a secondary key to go through them all, but it doesn't necessarily have illustrations, so I won't be sure if I'm correct, but I'm still gonna try. Last night when I was keying out that buckthorn family plant, I didn't end up finishing keying it out because I was getting bitten up by mosquitoes and we left super late. We didn't get home until like 1:30 in the morning. But I did successfully key it out when I got home, and I just wanted to show you guys the last bit of the process. So, in the book, we are in the buckthorn family right here. This gives us a general description, which did match the plant that we were looking at. It also gives you a little which genus it's going to be in. We have it in Ceanothus. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm doing my best. So if you look at A, leaves alternate, stipules thin and deciduous, flowers and panicles. If you remember, the leaves were not opposite. Opposite would be, oh, it's hard to show you, but with the 2, if my hand was the stem with the 2 fingers like that. So these leaves were alternate. So we're going to stick with A, then we're going to go to B. Ultimate branches rigidly divaricate and spinose, leaves persistent. I don't have the plant with me, so I cannot show you, but the branches did come out into kind of sharp, spiny little bits there. I wouldn't say it necessarily actually had thorns. It was just that the ends of the branches were very sharp. And they were rigidly divaricate, which is like they weren't very flexible. So we are going to stick with B. Then leaves may be cerulate, mainly below 4,000 feet. Cerulate would be if, you know, like serrated almost, like a semi-serrated kind of thing, like a lightly serrated. If you remember those leaves, and I can cut to it maybe, they looked like they could have been cerulate, but if you looked closely, it looked like there had just been little bugs eating at the edges of them. So the leaves were actually entire, and it was mainly above 4,000 feet, because we were actually, I think, 6,100 feet in the air, 6,100 feet elevation, and that is C. cordulatus. And we're going to go down here. C. cordulatus is snowbush. Stems intricately branched, spreading 1 to 2 meters high with smooth whitish bark. The whole plant grayish, glaucous, leaves ovulate to elliptic, 3-veined, petioles 3 to 6 millimeters long, flowers white, the clusters dense, 1.5 to 5 centimeters long, dry, open, flat, slopes 3,000 to 9,500 feet, mainly in May to July. And that is exactly what we saw. So we did successfully key at this plant using this book. I do believe that it may be a little bit out of date about what we refer to the plant as. I did Google it. It is sometimes called Mountain Whitethorn as well. It's also a nitrogen fixing plant, which I think is very interesting. And so yeah, that was the process. Fancy little shrub.